welcome to the Lighthouse, which is the virtual headquarters for all things integrative practices. So take these first couple of moments to get really comfortable in your body, to get comfortable in whatever it is that you're seated on, and we're gonna just have a really graceful flow. But I'm gonna talk to you here for the first couple of moments and kind of set our stage. Just take this first moment to feel the DNA of the group. Every group has its own sort of frequency, and every time has its own frequency. And so just visualize everybody that's in our group and feel the power of the circle in that way. And give yourself permission to really use today's technique. And we're just going to do one, the power of one. To use today's technique, which is a really good juicy one, to get into your organs, to get into your blood chemistry, to get into your brain, and to get into the whole circuitry of your energy body, and to catalyze some optimizing change. Use this meditation to gently but efficiently balance and to up-level your nervous system, all three of the nervous systems. There's so much potential for equilibrium in the human nervous system. And use this meditation to cleanse your psychoanatomy and your psychomagnetic field of any kind of old mold that comes from fear residing within us, in our body, in our perception, and so forth. And I just want to take this moment to articulate, which is, for this group, this is the first meditative time that we've had together. I want to articulate that it's acceptable and it's encouraged and it's safe to bring every existential urgency that you might be experiencing into the meditative context, any kind of emotional density, any of the intricacies and complexities involved with being you and living your life. Bring it into the round of the meditative process and allow the processes to soften you into a kind of wholeness. And this is such an important time to move into these practices because we're slingshotting into a new season, given that we transitioned into, autumn last week. This time that we're in right now, historically, we're in a choice point. Everything is catalyzing us and moving us like a jet plane in whatever direction we're focusing upon. There's been a tremendous amount of polarization, there's a tremendous amount of pressurization, and anytime there's pressurization or polarization, therein also lies a power of propulsion. And that's what I'm talking about when I say that this time is, it's propelling us like a jet plane. There's a massive shift that's going on in the frequency of our world, in the way we work, in the way that we're feeling, in the way that we identify with just about everything. And the shift is incalculable in a lot of different ways. It could be likened to the shift that occurred when the dinosaurs went extinct. And if you subscribe to the mythologies of Atlantis or Noah's Ark, what we're going through right now is of a similar intensity, only the magnetic poles that are reversing are not in the planet. The magnetic poles that are flipping are in our human mind. So much is happening in our human mind. We are actively engaged in the endeavor of a massive shift. So as we tune into frequency this week in all of the ways that we work together in IP, remember that joy is a frequency. Remember that gratitude is good for your health, and that we can flip a lot of myths every time we get into the context of our meditative mind. Use this work this week to get really disciplined. And I'm not talking about that stodgy, obligatory kind of discipline that none of us want more of, right? But the kind of discipline that I'm pointing to is the discipline that allows you to notice and to collect all of the many, many miracles that are populating in your life. and to take good, clean steps in the direction of those miracles and to co-create with them. And every time we take a step towards grace, grace takes 10,000 steps towards us. It's just the way it works. So in this massive frequency shift that we're going through right now in the world, there's a huge D force, the destruction force, the destructive force. Like, we're seeing it all over the place, right? But if there's a D force, there's also a G force, and that's the generative force. And our meditative practice and our meditative mind allows us to be actively participant with the G force more and more and more frequently. So take this moment before we get into the practice itself to, ask yourself, what thoughts are in the auto-suggestion section of those 60,000 thoughts a day that I'm thinking? What are those auto-suggestions that are popping up time and time and time again? And it's so easy to have those auto-suggestions to be divisive. That's so seductive, right? It's so alluring to think thoughts of scarcity. But we have, every time we're in the meditative context, we have the option to think more expansively and to make every moment matter, so that we're using our imagination positively. So the self-fulfilling prophecies that we manifest and mobilize through the work that we do is emerging from our positive imagination and not from our negative imagination. That's the mental hygiene that meditation allows us to really put in place and to recalibrate through. So the last thing I want to say before I give you the technique is, use these moments. I just said this a second ago. Every moment matters. When you practice, you are in a rarified field of specialized self-understanding. It's a rarified field where you can steer in a sovereign way towards who you're choosing to be. When we're in a meditative state, we're consistently and repetitively choosing into what we know is best. And it's that repetition that is the edification that gets us closer to who we've always meant to become and who we came here to be. So I love what I can't remember who it was, but someone was talking about, it was Chris. You were talking about open mind, open ocean. Come into your oceanic state of undifferentiated awareness right now in this moment. So here is the order of operations in terms of all the moving parts for today's technique. You're going to stack your right hand on top of your left hand, and the palms of the hands will be facing the sky. Okay, so just arrange that. And you've got a shape that is three-pronged. You've got the thumbs, and then you've got the innermost fingers that are all stacked up in this way. So this is a thunderbolt mudra. And so this threefold form that you're making, it balances the three gunas, the rajasic and the tamasic and the sattvic. These are the three qualities that permeate all of creation. So the rajasic are the qualities that are constantly dynamic. And the tamasic are, and I could spend another hour talking about the particularities of this, but I'll just give you this sort of cream off the surface. So again, the rajasic is the dynamic, and the tamasic is the stabilized, the inert, and therein also lies the potential for entropy in the tamasic. And then the sattvic, which is what we're always generating when we practice. The sattvic is the translucent, the luminous, the truthful, the vibrant and the healthy. So you're bringing all three of these qualities into balance. And you're also, again, bringing the three nervous systems, the parasympathetic, the sympathetic, and the autonomic nervous systems into a harmonic equilibrium. So this mudra, in tandem with the way that you're going to breathe here in a second, also very profoundly activates your self-healing capacity. This is, if you ask me, this is a skill set worth honing. Your self-healing capacity. And sometimes self-healing isn't about, healing the broken toe, but about healing the state of mind, healing, the auto-suggestion and so forth, right? So you're going to catch the breath. The hands are going to hover here, right in front of your heart, the bottom part of your heart center. So it's not off to the left, it's in the middle. And you're going to close down the eyes, and the eyes will be set on the screen behind the eyelids for the duration of the practice. And you're going to catch the breath on the inhale. Listen to how I breathe in. So I'm really going for it. I'm really making full use of the opportunity to oxygenate and pranify all the cells in my system with that single in breath. Typically when we breathe in, we're just, utilizing the upper third capacity of our lungs. Use your whole body to breathe in. Just get that feeling here for a second. And really let it be omnidirectional and three-dimensional, so it's filling and it's flooding and it's informing and it's nourishing your body-mind organism, the totality of it. And then you're going to hold on to the breath for a moment and let it just linger inside of your being. And then you're going to exhale out of the nose, nice and slow. And as you exhale, you're going to activate your visualization skills, and you're going to see lightning emerging from the tips of the 6 innermost fingers. The 8 innermost fingers. Lightning is emerging and surrounding you and fortifying and strengthening your physio-anatomy and your whole psychomagnetic field, okay? So you're inhaling through the nose, catch the breath. Get it all the way down into the back bottom portion of your kidneys. Hold on to the breath, and then exhale out of the nose, nice and slow, elongating and extending and expanding the exhale, visualizing the lightning surrounding you, creating a field of presence, the quality of presence that's always present. And at the completion of every exhale, squeeze in the ball of the belly and lift the ball of the belly up towards your heart and up then towards the crown of your head. So you're creating some stimulation in the innermost happening of your body. The eyes are closed. You're really going for it every time you inhale. Holding on to the breath. Exhaling out of the nose, visualizing the breath emerging from the fingertips in the form of lightning, white light that is uplifting you, activating you, accelerating you upon your path so that you can take that step towards grace, and so that the meaning and purpose that is seeking you, can take 10,000 steps towards you and right into you. So I want you to just stay in this for the next few moments. Deep, patient, breathing in a kind of with a timeless immensity. And allow yourself, at least for this moment, allow yourself to let go of the mind, even to forget the mind, even to forget that you have to forget anything. Let the magnitude and the simplicity of the breath get you there, so that you can mingle with the fecundity of the moment. Being patient in the process. Patience is a powerful force. Patience is one of those G forces. It's a generative force. Waiting, being willing to stay in one place while you engage the practice. Waiting is an essential skill. With all of your alert, restful awareness, presence with the inhalation every time it's time to take one in. And use these moments, friends, to build a bridge to the juiciest parts of your life that you haven't even lived yet. You are building a bridge between the fickle fish and the eventual feast. Breath by breath, by and by. Go into the heart of it. You are leveraging through the simple practice. You're leveraging so as to up-level your dreams and to align with your mastermind, to open your heart, to expand from the center of every cell. Stay in it. Stay in it. You're doing great. Breathing full power every time it's time to breathe in. Entraining your old frequency to link in with your future frequency. That's what's happening when we meditate. Allow your mind and your heart to perceive the larger panorama of what is courting you. From the perspective of your positive imagination, and optimizing self-fulfilling prophecy, one breath at a time. And use the self-healing property of this breathing. So simple. Use the self-healing property to override the rampant cyclicity of anxiety that is attempting to hijack us, every other second in this time. Override it into equipoise. It is possible when we sit and we practice the art of being with ourselves, it is possible to experience an immediate and radical relief from so many of the stories that can feel suffocating in this time, whether there are personal stories or the stories of the world that we're carefully carrying. Allow yourself to experience that immediate and radical relief. Maybe it's just the relief from, the experience of and the challenge of being in a human body. Sometimes simply that is so much. Go for it every time you breathe in. Make it meaningful. Step into the freedom of who you are as you exhale and feel the fortification of the lightning energy surrounding you and uplifting you. Stepping into or sitting into the truth of who you are. And this truth, it's a freedom, right? And it's a freedom that isn't the result of a practice. It's a freedom that's always there when we uncover the coverer. We're uncovering ourselves, being more of who we came here to be, undefended in our presence, taking good, clean steps towards grace. Savor a few more breaths. breaths that are aligning you with your inimitable, original, individual autonomy. The inviolable parts of your essence that have never been ruptured, that have never been deranged or derailed, but that came in whole and that are whole here now, and that will continue on in the same manner. Let the next breath connect you to that inimitable, individual, original autonomy. With all your relaxed alertness, go for the next in-breath. And then surrender right into the heart of it. The mudra, and you can open your eyes. And allow the breath to neutralize. You know, every thought, feeling, emotion, and desire that we're feeling all the time, 24/7, you know, as part of the human experience, but everything is accelerated. All those thoughts, feelings, emotions, and desires, they're accelerated. They're on steroids when we're doing these trainings, right? And each of these thoughts, feelings, emotions, and desires, they have a signature frequency. And when we do this work, we're creating coherence in all of these frequencies so that, you know, the thoughts we're thinking and the emotional requests, the intentions, I even dare say the prayers, and the things that we're intending to manifest, and the person that we're busy becoming, that all three of these dimensions, we're generating coherence in all three of these dimensions, and then they're broadcasting the same signal. Meditation allows us to create coherence so that we have that sane stability with each step forward. So take this last moment and just, even in a virtual context, you know, feel the group, feel the DNA of our group. You know, to practice alone, it's powerful. And I say that from my own process. I've been a single practitioner doing things alone in my practice my whole adult life. But the power of what we do in practice is exponentially expanded and accelerated when we do it in a group. So to have this last moment to tune in to the frequency of the group, and to how everyone in the group has taken a few minutes on this beautiful afternoon to shift the frequency, to up level, to take a step forward, and to feel the grace gift of unconditional embodiment through the medicine of the breath. Thank you so much for sharing a few minutes at the end of today's process in this integrative way. I'm always so honored to have the opportunity to participate and collaborate in these APT gatherings. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the morning. We'll, not first thing, but in the morning we'll practice some Qigong, and I'm very excited to share that with you. Have a beautiful evening. Namaste.